On today's episode of the Think Bigger Mastermind, I have the privilege of interviewing my friend and inspirational leader and speaker, Lou Radja. Lou is somebody that you definitely want to tune into. Welcome to the Think Bigger Mastermind with Steve Yeager and Justin Stoddard, where we interview some of the world's brightest and most innovative minds, helping grow your thinking, your actions, and your impact. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Mastermind. Excited to be here, extremely excited. Actually, when I launched the Think Bigger Mastermind, one of the very first people that came to mind was you, Lou, and just somebody who had inspired me. A little background on Lou. Lou has the privilege and blessing, really, of inspiring people all over the world. And we're going to get a little bit into Lou's mind as to this passion that he has. But he's the founder of Lou Radja Enterprises. His message is one of personal growth, leadership, really taking people from where they are to where they want to be. He coaches people individually, as well as speaks to large audiences, really all over the world. So such a pleasure to have you here. Hello, Lou. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Justin, for having me, and to your audience. Great to start the conversation.
Yes. So it's been probably over a year now that I had the opportunity to hear Lou. He spoke at a 10X Growth Summit that I had participated in or been a part of, and was truly inspired by him. He just has a way of lighting up a room, not just when he walks in, but when he speaks, and he really lights it up. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you do and how you've done that and continue to do that. So anyway, excited to have you on the show today. Lou, tell us a little bit about kind of your story, kind of your humble beginnings, and how that's kind of formed kind of who you are today and the purpose that you are passionate about.
Absolutely. My story is a story of duality between Africa and America. My father came to the United States of America in 1967 with the help of Presbyterian missionaries. And so he went from Congo to the College of Worcester in Ohio. My mom, the smarter of the two, she got a scholarship in 68 that took her from Congo to Vassar College in New York. They didn't even know each other. They met here in the U.S. And then went back to the Congo, had my two older sisters, and then came back to the U.S. for their advanced degrees. And then that's when my brother and I were born in Boston, Massachusetts. And less than a year after I was born, we moved back to the Congo. So I grew up in the Congo until I was 17 years old. Then I came back to the U.S. And so I've been going back and forth between the two places. And both places taught me different aspects of life. You know, Justin, when we go through life, there are the 4 S's. You know, you start with survival, right? We all know about survival. Hopefully you don't stay there long. Then you move to stability.
I often laugh, Lou, because I've got a young family, and I've heard it said before that like when kids are under the age of 3, they're on constant suicide watch.
Absolutely.
Right? Like survival, even in the best of circumstances with parents that love them.
Yeah.
You got to watch out because they're always trying to do something crazy.
You got to watch them. They want to dive in the deep end of the pool.
Right.
They want to touch the socket.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just what they do.
Yeah.
And so after survival, you have stability. And that's when your head is a little bit above water. But then hopefully you graduate to success, having more than enough, right? Having your needs met and your family needs met. And then you graduate to significance. Significance is really about sending the elevator back down for someone else. So growing up in Congo, growing up in Africa, I saw so many amazing people with great opportunities, but not a chance to really maximize it like I saw here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I came to America. I mean, it's just a land of abundance, milk and honey. And so to see so much success, I quickly found that success without significance feels empty. Like there has to be more to life.
Right.
And then significance without success is not sustainable. So that's why my mindset, my mantra is always kind of a hybrid between success and significance. That's what Be More, Give More is about.
Very cool.
Success, you take the elevator to the top. Significance, you send it back down for someone else.
Really powerful
That's my
stuff.
life.
Really powerful stuff. You know, I've heard it said. In fact, there's a book actually called The Immigrant's Edge, in which one of my mentors talks about why immigrants to the U.S. become so successful.
Yes.
And it's because they recognize how fertile the soil is here. It's like, why would you
Absolutely.
not plant in this soil? You have no idea where I came from and what it looks like.
Exactly.
And they just see opportunity because they actually have seen life without it.
Yes.
Right? So you have the benefit of coming from that environment of seeing like, there's actually a different opportunity here. A better one.
Absolutely. It's the law of contrast. When you're able to juxtapose your reality elsewhere to what you're experiencing here in the US, that was eye-opening for me. I'm going, look, here's a chance that I didn't have, that some of my folks do not have where I'm from. And I just won't sleep on it. I have to take advantage. You come to America not for a job. You come to America to design a life, to live your dreams. And so I'm hungry, man. That drives me every day.
That is powerful. You know, it's interesting when you were talking about success without significance and how that's empty and often leads to unhappiness and a whole other grouping of problems. We see that a lot of times with people that have had massive success, whether it be in sports or in Hollywood, etc. And all of a sudden they take their own life, or they just are terribly unhappy and their families are falling apart. And you're like, how could you possibly be unhappy with everything you have?
Yes.
And I think you're right. It's that they got to the top and they didn't send the elevator back down. There was no deep purpose behind their success. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's it. That's exactly it. When you have a chance to connect with others and let your success be leveraged to help others, that's when you find meaning and purpose. Success is about you, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, go to the top, go as high as you can. I mean, that's part of the deal. At the end of the day, we're here to maximize our potential. But then right after we do that, we're here to help others do the exact same thing. And until you do that, there is no meaning.
Right.
And so how to leverage both success and significance has been an amazing opportunity. So here in the U.S., I get a chance to connect with individuals and teams and help them with leadership, personal development, and growth. And then back home, we built a school serving underprivileged children from kindergarten to high school. And now we have a clinic adjacent to the school, and we're building more schools. So between the two places, I get to live both success and significance.
Right.
And that's what gives me joy, man. That's
so you're helping people in the Congo really kind of have survival and stability.
Yes.
And here you're helping people have success. Right?
Yes.
It's just kind of helping them kind of move up one more floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
How powerful. So I'm, for those of you that are listening to this, you don't have the privilege that I have, which is looking at a bunch of amazing pictures of Lou guiding a group of people to the top of Kilimanjaro.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to kind of share kind of some of this, describe some of what I'm seeing here, and even give, kind of use this maybe as a metaphor for you and kind of send the elevator back down, right? Helping people get to that next level, because I know that's your passion and purpose and what you get the privilege of doing for a living. So I'm seeing here, it's funny, for those of you that can't see, there's pictures of this group of 5 that made it to the top. Yeah. And at the beginning, they look so fresh and excited and fired up. I made the comment to Lou at one of them. I'm like, man, Lou, you look really tired in that picture. He's like, I need some sleep.
Absolutely.
By that point, his body's breaking down. And pretty cool. There's actually a picture here of them all standing like the Avengers and kind of superheroes, which if you looked at the mountain that they're about ready to finally summit, you need to have superhero power. So tell us a little bit about how you got this in your mind that you were going to climb Kilimanjaro.
Oh man, Justin, it's a lifelong dream. 11 years old, I'm in geography class, and the teacher is talking about the highest peaks in all continents. Yeah. And then we get to Africa, and then he says Kilimanjaro. And in describing it, he called it the roof of Africa. That phrase stuck in my little 11-year-old brain. And I'm like, how cool would that be? And then someone else said it was the closest place to heaven on the entire continent. So that stayed with me, right? And so throughout my life, I was always fascinated by it. And then later on, I was part of a mastermind group. And we read 1 Minute Millionaire. I think it was Mark Victor Hansen and someone else who co-wrote that book. And they asked us to write 101 goals. I'm going, are you kidding me? 101 goals? I barely have 10.
That's a lot.
And so as I was putting my, I guess, bucket list or life goals, Kilimanjaro came right to the top. And I always pushed it off. I was always afraid, like maybe I can't do it, altitude and all the grueling things that it takes to get up there. And then I turned 40 last year and I said, if I don't do it now, I don't know when I will. And so last year was just a decision to actually make it happen. Because it represents so much for me in terms of freedom, in terms of an opportunity to go outside of my comfort zone and stretch myself. And I wanted to make it public so that I couldn't back out of it. And so that's what happened last year.
I love that you made a decision. I think all too often our bucket list keeps getting kicked down the road, right? Like, when I have more money, when I have more time, when I'm in better shape, when I'm this, when I'm that, and these things that could really inspire us. I think for the most part, most people don't actually have that huge bucket list like you had.
Right.
And if they do, there's not that decision. There's not that it's time to do this, right?
Yes.
Now, for those of you that don't have the privilege of knowing Lou, he's not built like a Sherpa, right? I mean, you're not a little guy.
No.
So climbing to the mountain, it's not like you rock climb all the time. Like,
right.
Like this is, you look like an NFL linebacker, like
Yes.
like ripped, cut, but not like a Sherpa, right?
No question about it.
So at some point did that entered your mind, like maybe I'm not set up for this, and how did you overcome that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, we're blessed to live in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, we're in Portland, Oregon. We're surrounded by just beautiful mountain and sceneries and things of that nature. So training for Kilimanjaro, I couldn't have picked a better place to be. That's number one. However, Multnomah Falls was the highest I've ever been, right? So Multnomah Falls is just, barely 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
And so to go from that to 19,000 was a daunting task. And I'm huffing and puffing. I mean, I'm barely above 1,000. I'm making little videos to encourage myself that, you got it, you're training. And to go from last April, 1,000 feet was the highest I've ever been. And in October, being on top of Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
I mean, that's just crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, that short amount of time, that dedication, training, and thank God for Paul Thompson, a friend of mine who is really in shape, actually loves hiking. So we just went one mountain at a time every weekend. And I just got better and better and stronger. And when we got there, I saw Kilimanjaro and I completely freaked out.
What have I done?
What have I done? And then over there, thank God for all of the guides and the porters that they have there to help us get up there. They were. I mean, I was making jokes and talking about how they're just mountain goats. These guys, they made it look so easy to get up there. In fact, our lead guide had been to the top of Kilimanjaro 152 times. And so for them, it was just fun, and they were there to just help us actually get our minds right to get to the top. But because of my why, because of purpose, because of freedom, because of the 4 areas that I was working on in my own personal life, which was around relationship, time, purpose, and money. These 4 areas in my personal life that I wanted to find freedom in, I needed to create something that forced me to get outside of my comfort zone, do something I've never done, 10x my altitude, and that way I can transfer that into my personal life. So my reason for doing it was strong enough that even when I was tired, even when I was freaking out, I knew I had to do it. So.
And the trip was set, so it's not like you can back out of it,
Exactly.
right? You set a deadline.
Exactly.
Paid for the trip probably, and it's
Exactly.
like, well, okay, it's not like I can go next month. Like it's I got to do this.
Got to do it. You got to put yourself in those positions where you have less and less opportunities to back out.
Yeah, no back doors.
Exactly. That's why I made it public. That's why when my friends came along, it became even more serious, and so there was no other options.
Now, one of the pictures that we're looking at here has you standing at the top, and you're pointing to, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it, Uhuru?
Perfect.
Wow, look at that. Uhuru Peak. Tell us the definition of that and why that's significant.
Uhuru is Swahili for freedom. Freedom, freedom. I'm sure all of your listeners, I mean, that's why we get up every day in the morning. That's why we have our veterans who are making sure that we live in a country that is filled with freedom and opportunity. That's why we want to democratize freedom all around the world. That's why we work hard to get, not just a paycheck, but go above and beyond and be financially free so that, you can live life in your own terms, and that's really what that means. And that's what it means personally to me. I mean, I grew up in the Congo. We were colonized by Belgium, and we got our independence in 1960. And so freedom, we're a new country. So we're fumbling in creating opportunities for all. So there was a personal reason, and there was also a collective reason. And so having that as a why, and then when we're climbing up, I'm tired. I think that every step is my last step. I'm out of oxygen, lost appetite. I have fever, and I'm barely chucking up there. And
is that normal to have a fever when you start to go to altitude, or did you just get like the flu?
I think I got the flu. Yeah, I think
Great
I got the
timing.
flu. Yeah, great timing, exactly. But you think about what it means. Nothing worth having comes easy. You know that. So it's always gonna be that way. And if it's something that means the world to you, it's gonna be incredibly difficult. But when you have a strong why, the how is doable. So that's really what got me. So then we get to the top, and I can see the peak Uhuru, which is still an hour away, maybe 400 feet left, but I'm completely spent, super tired, exhausted. I'm looking at the guide.
Like, just run a marathon.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't have it.
I don't think I have it.
Yeah.
And he's looking back at me because, he saw the sheets of where we wrote our goals and everything else before.
Yeah.
He said, well, Lou, this is not Uhuru. And I'm looking at him, and I said, "You're right. It's not." And you get that last reserve
Yeah.
that's hidden somewhere in your body,
Right?
And then you go and you make it happen. And then when I got up there, Justin, I was in tears. I mean, all the emotions came out.
Yeah.
About 19 minutes of straight crying, like wailing.
Wow.
Not pretty Hollywood crying.
Yeah.
I'm talking like snot and ugly crying. It meant that much. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow, what a powerful experience. I can feel your passion as you share that. How cool. So you didn't just do this by yourself and with some guides,
Yes.
right? Talk to us about you had some people come with you.
Absolutely.
How did that come about?
Yes. Well, in Africa, we say if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with others.
Ooh, I like that.
Every time.
Say that again. That's powerful.
If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with others.
I like it.
There's something amazing when it goes from the individual to the collective, right? When I first decided to do it, it was just me, right? It was just me. It was my goal. But then when I announced it to the world, that's how Paul Thompson showed up in my life. And he started coaching me in hiking, right? So even in the training process, someone helped me to get in shape, to even have a shot at this.
Right.
And then when I announced it to my friends that I was going to go out and do this, it was beautiful to see that resonated with them as well. It turns out I wasn't the only one that wanted to get to the top of the mountain. And so they asked me, hey, how are you doing it? How are you training? And before you know it, we were having these weekend hikes together, training together. And there's a great company here in town called Embark. And they're the one that sends people in these amazing excursions all around the world. And they basically mapped it out for us, told us everything to look out for, what to shop for, the gear and the mindset and everything to expect once you get to Tanzania. And so it was great that an individual goal became a collective goal.
Yeah.
And it was just so powerful to see Trevor make it to the top, to see Andy make it to the top, to see Kelly make it to the top, to see Shelly make it to the top, to see all of these guys. It's beautiful to share a goal and to see it being accomplished on a group level. And high-fiving at the top, or hugging, or crying together. It makes it incredibly worth it. And then have them share their why I have my own why. I have my own reason. I shared that with you. But then to hear their reason for coming all the way to Tanzania and make it happen, fortified everything. So it was great.
So that experience is, again, as we kind of shared at the beginning, could be a metaphor for now the life that you embark upon, is that it's not a matter of just getting to the top.
Yes.
But you found that it's a matter of getting others to their top, whatever that looks like.
Exactly.
Talk to us a little bit about, be more, give more, and how this whole excursion fit right into your bigger purpose and passion.
Absolutely. Nelson Mandela says that after climbing a great hill, one only sees more hills to climb. See, the actual work began when we came back down. See, that was an intro, right? That was an intro to the other hills of life. Personal goals, professional goals, family goals, relationship goals. That's where the real work is. Kilimanjaro was a metaphor, was a testing ground to then transfer that experience into your business, into your home, into your family, into your corporation, into your community, because it stretched you, right? There's comfort zone and then there's growth zone. Kilimanjaro was definitely not comfortable. And so anything else in my own life, that I need to make happen at that level, I have to understand that I have to get out of my comfort zone. And so the same is true for my clients. So I have the opportunity to coach business leaders, business owners, civic leaders as well. Anybody that wants to go from where they are to where they want to be and work on that gap management. And I use that as a metaphor as well. Here's what we learned climbing that mountain. The guide, I remember this guy, Frederick, he's looking at me. He says, Lou, it's not the mountain you climb. Just put one foot in front of the other and the mountain will come to you. Wow. And I'm sitting there, I'm listening to this guy. He says, the mountain will come to you. You just do your part in terms of effort, in terms of putting one foot in front of the other. Yeah. I mean, that's strategy, right? I mean, we're running companies. It's all about strategy, right? You have to have a strategic plan. Well, every day you're executing on something. Right. And that takes you closer and closer to that goal. And the same for your clients, the same for your consumers, the same for your family, the same for anything you do. So these lessons are transferable. And so I get to use some of these experiences. Everybody has a Kilimanjaro version of a goal, whether it's in business or in life. So, but the process is the same. You prepare, you train like crazy, you make sure you can anticipate all the things that can happen, right? And then you stay focused on that goal. You don't celebrate prematurely, so you keep your feet on the ground, right? You have your little circle of area where you actually make things happen as you get closer and closer. And as my guide told me, the mountain will come to you. Whatever your goal is, it will come to you. So in my business, whether it's coaching or speaking or doing some consulting, I share that with my clients because the same is true in what they're trying to accomplish.
I would imagine having gone through that experience of the pain and the adversity. I mean, I'm looking at one picture here of you, and it looks like you're hanging on for dear life.
Yes.
Right? I would imagine that being able to reflect back on that not only helps you, but you can actually almost see other people going through difficult times, and be able to whisper in their ear like, it's worth it. I've been to the top. I'm going to help you get there.
Yes.
Tell me, how does that show up for you as far as from a gratification standpoint?
Yes.
I would imagine that's just a thrill every day.
Absolutely. It's all about managing the lows. See, the highs are fine. We can celebrate and high-five each other.
Anybody can do that, right?
Anybody can do that. It's managing the lows. One of my favorite quotes from Vivian Green says, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. Life is about learning how to dance in the rain. See, when you understand how to cope, how to deal, or even how to thrive in challenging times, you're set.
Yeah.
You're set. And the same is true in your own personal life, health, or business. The lows are coming. If it hasn't happened, just live long enough, it will.
It's on its way.
It's on its way, right? And so the idea is who are you really when things are not going well? So we're at 12,000 feet. I'm losing my appetite. We still got 7,000 feet to go. I'm no longer hungry. I've lost my appetite, and
That's not good.
That's not good at all. And I'm weak, so I can't. I mean, I'm 6'4", 200. Well, I won't say the rest, but anyway, I need my energy, right?
Yeah.
And now it's incredibly painful to just take one step.
Yeah.
And I need everyone to help me psychologically or to pump me up. And I'm pumping myself up. I'm having self-talk, and I can't turn around. I know why it's important. That's when you really are defined as an individual. It's not when you're high-fiving and you made it. No, it's managing those difficult moments. So I'm sure, your audience, they go through their own thing. I mean, a doctor can give you the bad news. You can get a pink slip. You can lose a business. The economy can go down. You can be in the middle of a divorce. You can get cut from a team. You can lose the championship. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
That's when we know what you're really made of, right? It's the adversity. It's the low moments, right? So going through that experience, I mean, I didn't like it. I don't wish it on people. But when you go through it.
But you kind of do, right?
Yeah.
Because you realize without that, and not that you want anybody to suffer, but you realize that without any weights on the bar, the strength doesn't come, right?
Yes.
Without the adversity,
Yeah.
without you climbing that, without you gone through even the challenging times you did in your youth, etc.
Yes.
You wouldn't be the man you are today.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you don't want it, but
it's necessary.
It's necessary.
It's
right?
necessary. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's incredibly necessary. And so when people call on you or call on me, it's because there's a problem, right? It's in fact the size of your business or your goals is usually related or linked to the size of the problem that you're solving, right? So solving problems is what we do, and that's where opportunities are. That's where growth really is.
Right.
And so, sharing that story with my client or with my team is crucial. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears, part of the deal.
What a powerful perspective for someone who does what you do, to have gone through that experience, not just yourself, but helping others do it as well. It just gives you such a unique perspective and vantage point to be able to help people.
Absolutely. And it's one of those situations, Justin, where, as you're going through it, you want to quit. As you're going through it, you want the pain to stop, okay?
It's not as glamorous as these pictures
exactly,
show. Like, this actually friggin' hurt.
Exactly.
I wanted to cry.
Exactly. And
I wanted to die.
Cry. Exactly. And it's one of those things where you're literally having an internal conversation, hey, it's 15,000 feet. This is respectable. I can turn around.
The respectable.
I can quit now, and I think people will still appreciate my feat, right?
Yeah.
And no, you gotta push through it. And that's I mean, marathon runners tell us that all the time, right? When they hit the wall and they have to push through it, right? It's the same experience where you're sitting there going, I don't have anything left. And how many of us go through that in our relationships, in our business, and all that? And you literally tell them, fatigue, fear, doubt, those are all just stories, internal stories. They are a made-up wall, but on the other side of it is everything you've ever wanted, right? On the other side of it is everything you've ever wanted. So there's only one way, and that is through. There is no around, there is no below, there's no above, it's through. The word is through. There's no other way. People want shortcuts, people want, that's just not how life is. You know that.
Yeah, you get a helicopter ride to the top of Kilimanjaro, and you get your picture up there, right? You could create all these similar pictures, but you didn't become anything.
Exactly.
You didn't actually become something that can actually then serve and help and lift other people, right?
Exactly. If you can't go through it, I mean, then it's hard. As a leader, as someone who wants to help others, as an influencer, whatever your title, as a parent, as a business owner, as a manager, supervisor, director, we have a job. Our job is to literally empower others. Our job is to train others. Our job is to mentor others. And how can I empathize if I haven't gone through it?
Right.
How can you trust me if I haven't gone through it? Right? So we don't have a choice but to go through these experiences, learn from them. That way we're able to actually do what we're here to do. And so it's one of those opportunities that as leaders we can't pass up. We just can't pass up, because people will not follow you. People will not get inspired. People will not trust in you if you have not gone through the fire yourself. And that's part of the deal.
Powerful stuff, Lou. I wish we could sit here and talk all day. This has been fantastic. So for those that are listening that want to find you, follow you, reach out to you, schedule you to come speak at their event, talk about individual coaching, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. By all means, louradja.com is my website. LOURADJA, louradja.com, and you find everything there. Coaching, speaking, training opportunities, and just reach out. Email me, call me. I'm available. I'm looking forward to being of service. My mission, I exist to uplift humanity's consciousness and to add value in the lives of others through my words, my thoughts, and my deeds, to help individuals and teams be more and give more. That's what I live for. So any opportunity to help individuals as well as companies, your audience, it doesn't matter, just reach out. It's an opportunity for me to live my passion. That's it.
Powerful stuff, Lou. Thank you so much for being here and for inspiring anybody who listens to this. And appreciate you all tuning in to today's episode. So thanks again, Lou. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Think Bigger Mastermind with Steve Yeager and Justin Stoddard. Now, here's how you can show us some digital love in return. Number 1, subscribe to our show. Number 2, give us a review. Number 3, share this with a friend. And number 4, go think bigger.